Well, that was unexpected. And that was bad. Look, I'm not gonna lie to you. If I seem a little bit out of it, that's because my my college is queer LGBTQ Pride Center hosted a queer prom tonight. The DJ sucked. Clearly, this man has never DJ'd a queer event before. Man's played like three freaking Maroon 5 songs in it before he got to a single Doja Cat song. I pulled a muscle dancing. Sucked. Bad night. But what makes it all better is Bruins fans! It is time to hug it out! Because that is a 3-0 victory over the Winnipeg Jets to get us back on track. Welcome back to Into the Den, everybody. So, we go into this game coming off of one of the worst losses that the Bruins have suffered all season, off of one of the worst performances that Linus Ullmark has had all season. And legitimately, quite possibly one of the a game that I would subject the Bruins, that I would force the Bruins to watch on repeat like 10 times, just to study everything that they did wrong. But we go into this one. We're midway through it. We're midway through through the road trip. Our penalty kill has gotten so bad over the past few games that we are no longer the best in the league. We are the third best in the league, and that hurts. And on top of that, our power play is do not mention our power play. Do not mention our power play. Our power play is legitimately probably a bottom 3 power play in the league. And on top of that, it's not looking pretty up in the broadcast booth. This is something that I never wanted to see in my life. But Jack Edwards is really looking like he might be at the end. And I love him. I love Jack Edwards. Jack Edwards is quite possibly my favorite announcer in sports history. I would honestly say Jack Edwards, Andy Brickley is my favorite commentary duo of all time. You can throw away who is it? Kevin Harlan and Ian Eagle or whoever the hell he's or Rich Gannon or whoever is in NFL on CBS. You can even throw away Don Orsillo and Jerry Remy. I freaking love Don Orsillo and Jerry Remy. I like Jack Edwards and Andy Brickley are my childhood, and but I know it was a joke last game with how many times am I gonna mispronounce Andreas Athanasiou, a name that's really hard to pronounce, but we hear him stumble over himself hard in just the intro. He's struggling introducing the freaking barn name, and it sucks. I love Jack Edwards, but I would not be surprised to hear him retire either after this season or after next. And so Jack Edwards, on behalf of Bruins Nation, thank you for everything that you've done. Thank you for all of the joy that you've given us. Your freakouts, it's for Bruins wins, your hilarious metaphors like tumbling muffin and the coin that won't get tossed. Fantastic. We love it. We love it. We love you, Jack. And we wish for nothing but the best for your health. But still a hockey game to play. And this game honestly comes with something funny that happened before this game. For pretty much this entire road trip, we have been seeing on Bruins Twitter Jacob Lauko emergency recalled from Providence. It's Jacob Lauko sent back down to Providence. Jacob Lauko emergency recalled from Providence. It's Jacob Lauko sent back to Providence. Now, I think I forget the specifics of this. I think Scott Laughlin explained it on his Twitter, and I forget, and I am too tired to look it up. But there is a reason why this is why this was happening. But Jacob Lauko, he responds with the evergreen the gif of the old guy in The Simpsons is walking in, putting his hat on the rack, circling around once, and then circling back around, grabbing his hat and walking out the door. I think you all know what I'm talking about there. And honestly, Lauko had quite possibly one of the best games of anyone on the Bruins tonight. Connor Ryan, who works at Boston.com and tweets very, very much about the Bruins a lot, even explains Jacob Lauko played a team low 6:28 of 5v5 ice time tonight, and he led the Bruins in individual scoring chances with five at 5v5 play, and was tied with Pastrnak for the team lead in individual shot attempts at 5v5 play at 6. At this point, I feel like Lauko has deserved a roster spot. He's deserved a roster spot, and I think honestly, he deserves it a little more than in AJ Greer at this point. Greer is good for that fourth line in grit, but I feel like if we're not going to give, if by next season we're still debating whether or not we want to bring up Lysell, I feel like Lauko could potentially slot in on that third line in a universe where we don't re-sign in Tyler Bertuzzi, which honestly I would be fine with. I would be fine with Bertuzzi walking. I like how I say this when he's a key member of the when he's a key portion of the first goal of the game. And speaking of which, like, comment, and subscribe. Let's talk about the game. Within the first minute, the Bruins get a fantastic first shift out of the third line in Coyle and Bertuzzi mucking it up in the corner. Bertuzzi squirts the puck out to Frederick, who's right up the middle, and he scores on Connor Hellebuck to put the Bruins up 1-0 in less than a minute into the game. A little bit later, Dylan DeMello ends up going for interference, and it's the 11th ranked power play versus the 4th ranked penalty kill. And of course the Jets kill it. And honestly neither power play looked. Actually, no. I don't want to say neither team's power play looked good, because the Jets in the first period got two power play opportunities, and on both of them spent one uninterrupted minute in the offensive zone. And yes, the Bruins penalty kill killed both penalties. There was not a single goal scored on the power play in this game. There was not a single goal scored shorthanded, unless you count the empty netter by Tomáš Nosek at the end. But I don't know, but nobody really counts that as shorthanded. And honestly, God bless Jeremy Swayman. It's amazing that we got that coming off of one of the worst games that Linus Ullmark has played all season. We got one of the best games that Jeremy Swayman has played all season. Fantastic job, and on a 35 save shutout, and it's just incredible that he did this, that he did as well as he did. And hey, I may be ripping on the penalty kill a little bit, but it's not like it was all bad. And I mean, Orlov, when Orlov went for tripping, the Bruins actually got some shorthanded opportunities, including a shorthanded breakaway from Hathaway at the end of it, in which he hit the post. But after that penalty ended, Zacha ends up with the puck on his stick off a turnover. I forget who's the defenseman in front of him. I think it might have been Pionk, and he's like, all right, I'm going bar down on this. He just shoots from pretty much the side of the circle, the inner side of the circle, like on the face-off circles, the side closest to the closest to the slot, and it just goes over Hellebuck's shoulder and bar down. 2-0 Bruins. Yeah, the first period is filled with penalties, and neither team can really capitalize off of it. Take case in point, Nemesnikov ends up going for roughing, and then 20 seconds later, Lindholm goes for interference. Both penalties die, and with 21 seconds left, Hathaway ends up going for kneeing. Hathaway's penalty would end up dying in the second period. Flawless transition there. Schmidt ends up going for the crossbar challenge and does not get. Hits the crossbar. It was a kind of dangerous shot. I will say it was a kind of dangerous shot, but nothing's getting past Swayman tonight. Nothing is getting past Swayman tonight. But that doesn't mean that the team in front of him is doing well. Bruins honestly in the second period, or having their normal second period, was the Jets are out shooting them. They're out working them. The Jets it's in the second period had the better game. Absolutely. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. The Jets had the better game in the second period. And after a play, I think Hathaway ends up giving he ends up giving Nikolai Ehlers a bit of the business. And Ehlers and Nemesnikov are not taking that lightly. They absolutely want a piece of Hathaway. Honestly, it's funny. We all, when he was on the Capitals, we all hated Hathaway. Now we love Hathaway. And I freaking love the fact that he's able to instigate. He's able to ruffle feathers, but he also knows when to, where to draw the line. He knows where to draw the line. And honestly, I feel like he could teach Frederick how to do that. He could absolutely teach Frederick how to, where to draw the line on when you're going too much with your antics. A little bit later into the Bruins into the game, and more so the second period, the Jets have the puck deep in the Bruins zone. Lindholm ends up taking the Lindholm ends up Lindholm ends up turning the puck over on the scrum, and he takes, honestly, one of the smartest penalties I've seen. Like, okay, it's never really a great idea to take to go shorthanded, usually, because you're down a player. But if this puck stays in play, the Jets are in an advantageous position, and they have the Bruins look a little bit tight and this current shift of players look a little bit tired. So, you take a penalty, and you reset it, and you reset, get your, I think, are you able to get you get your penalty killers out, and allow Swayman to collect himself. Honestly, really smart play on Lindholm for taking that penalty. And right off the bat, this penalty is really weird. Not penalty. This penalty kill is really weird. Like within the first 10 seconds, Nino Niederreiter. I almost forgot that he was on the Jets, by the way. Holy crap! I thought that he was. I'm not gonna lie. A small part of me still thought that he was on the Canes. Nino Niederreiter ends up putting the puck on net. It sort of bounces out of Swayman's glove, but the refs blow the play dead, and Niederreiter is very understandably angry. If I were him, I would be throwing a pissy fit about that. That sucked. This was a bad game from the refs, and honestly at some point, it's like one we'll talk about in the third. It definitely felt like at some points they have just blatantly missed calls, so they end up making makeup calls, which is standard practice. But it definitely felt like it happened in this game quite a bit. Anyway, we get Forbort out, who I still think is really good on the penalty kill and not much else. And what did you know it? He takes the frickin' trooper, man. He takes the shot from point blank. I forget who made the shot, and it goes right into his leg. And he is labored. He needs to get off. Swayman saved the puck. Thank you, Swayman, for making the glove save. And Forbort would not return for the night. And Forbort would not return tonight. Bees end up killing the penalty. We're into the third period. And right off the bat, the Bruins have a really good third period. Get a really good offensive zone chance. It's Dylan DeMello reaching back while pretty much pinned between Connor Hellebuck and Brad Marchand, and he pretty much reaches back and swats the puck out of the way off of the deflection, and that was gonna go in. And I will say this: the Jets, they have a pretty good defense. It's not like the best unit in the league, but I mean. They're giving Josh Morrissey the nickname of Josh Norrisy for good reason. He could absolutely win the Norris this year. Neil Pionk is legitimately one of the best defensemen at shutting down Connor McDavid for just no reason. Whenever McDavid is on the ice, is Pionk just sticks to him like Velcro. Oh, and just the rest of their defense is a pretty solid unit. I think that what the Jets need more than anything is depth. The Jets need two things: depth and a backup goalie. They do not need help on defense because they have plenty of it. Anyway, speaking of Josh Norrisy, absolute makeup call. Well, Marchand is really unhappy that there was no interference call right after a face-off in the Bruins zone that should have been called. And Morrissey ends up great. Now I'm gonna be tripping over my words and saying Norrisy all the time. But Morrissey, he just lightly pushes Trent Frederick, and that's somehow a cross-checking minor. Like I said, absolute makeup play. There's no reason. Absolute makeup call. There's no reason Morrissey should have gone into the box for that. Shit. The Bruins actually have a decent power play. They actually have decent power play opportunities in this one, but you know the story by now. They blow it, and even after the power play, they're still doing fantastic. The checkmate line. Oh my God, they brought back the checkmate line, and we all took a few good looks at it this game and wondered why the hell it left in the first place. Is Zacha, Krejci, and Pasta had fantastic games. And that top pair of McAvoy Grizzly did really well at keeping the puck in the offensive zone, on giving Connor Hellebuck fits, but Hellebuck was just too strong for that point. Anyway, we're into the Ford F-150 Final Five. Bruins are still playing really good. I think Brendan Dillon ends up with a really nice layout defense on a breakaway. You know, one of those things where they're skating backwards and they deliberately fall down to cut off passes. Is where if it works, you look like the second coming of like Chris Chelios or Bobby Orr, and if you don't, you look like the biggest tool on the planet. Well, I guess Brendan. I guess Dylan he channeled his inner Bobby Orr, so because that didn't go anywhere. Jets pull Connor Hellebuck and they actually look really good 6-on-5. I'm honestly surprised that Swayman didn't let one in, but he doesn't. In the last 10 seconds, Pasternak with the puck forechecks it up to Zacha, who's in the neutral, who's not Zacha. Forechecks it up to Noshik, who's in the neutral zone on one guy to beat, and he just risks it as soon as he gets into the offensive zone, and that is the 3-0 dagger. And with this win, the Bruins continue their record-breaking pace. I know that the Bruins have already made it clear both in terms of their words and in terms of how they've actually been playing recently, that they don't care about breaking records. They do not care about breaking records. But I think honestly this is this is a win that you need. This is the win that you need, and especially against against a team like Winnipeg, who is just barely holding on to that second wild card spot in the West by the skin of their teeth. Winnipeg honestly is playing pretty good. Winnipeg is playing really well, and on Saturday, you get the Wild, and that's another one that I'm gonna have to watch a bridge because I'm going to protest on Saturday. But that is gonna be it for tonight. Thank you all so much for watching, and I'll catch you guys Saturday. Take care.